Swami, thanks for joining us. Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson of the Bhartiya Janata Party, Taran Bhandari, Advocate, Political Analyst, Taran Verma, Lokesh Jindal, Leader of the Congress, Sanjay Jha, Ravi Srivastav completes the panel. Good evening to all of you. Taran Bhandari, let me ask you, is Rahul Gandhi staring at disqualification?
It is applicable to everybody. And if you remember, in 2013, the cabinet passed an ordinance and Rahul Gandhi called that ordinance nonsense. That ordinance probably would have prevented this. I think his decision to call it nonsense was correct, though people can doubt how you can tear an ordinance or you can call it a nonsense which has been passed by the Prime Minister of this country and then he withdraws it. So his method of doing it was obviously as juvenile as he is, but it was the correct thing he said then, that this ordinance which will protect corrupt convicted politicians is a wrong thing. The Supreme Court judgment is very clear that if you get convicted in 2 years or more, you will be disqualified. So Rahul Gandhi should talk to Rahul Gandhi of 2013 and we will have the answer there and then. The second aspect is once you have been convicted, now I was seeing some statements of Congress politicians where they were attacking BJP, they were attacking ED, CBI. What has that got to do with it? A BJP leader might have filed a case in court, but there was a proper trial and judges have changed. Judges often change in district court. Have they never appeared in district court? In a 4-year trial period, it is likely that they will transfer 1 year or 3 years as the term may be. So that is also normal. So a court trial has convicted him. Net, I'll just come to the conclusion. After a complete trial, he is being convicted. After he is being convicted, the law of the land is very clear. Unless he gets a stay on the conviction itself, not merely bail, he will face disqualification. Last point I would like to add, I don't agree with criminal defamation laws, but the Supreme Court upheld them, and once that's the law of the land, we all have to follow it.
Till we have those laws, we'll have to follow it. Fair enough. Now, Sanju Verma, I'll come to you, but Lokesh Jindal, the response from the Congress party is interesting. You have Mr. Khadge saying that, look, we knew this all along. Ye fixed hai. He's insinuating ye fixed hai by saying that judges were changed. There are others in Congress who are saying this is Modi Sarkar's Tanashahi.
Well, Pranesh, we need to look at it technically. Now, this entire case in the Surat District Court was filed as per the Section 200 of the CRPC. And then the process was followed as per Section 202 of the CRPC. Now, in the Birla Corporation Limited versus Advent's Investment, the Supreme Court has ruled that the purpose of the inquiry under Section 202 CRPC is to determine whether a prima facie is made out and whether there is sufficient ground for proceeding against the accused.
Lokesh Jindal, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The reason I'm stopping, I'll tell you. All this could have been done in the court, sir. Up to Faisla aa gaya. You know, you can save this argument when you go up in appeal. Save this. I'm sure, you know, you can be on.
I'm exposing how.
What is there to expose? You go file an appeal and then make this argument in the court.
I have one question.
I have one question for you.
One question.
Rahul Gandhi defamed Modi. That has led to this conviction. What does this say about Rahul's credibility? Straight question, Mr. Jindal.
Pranesh, in March 2022, the very person who had filed the case, he went to the Gujarat High Court and stayed the proceedings. Why? Citing lack of evidence. But then suddenly in February 2023, the same person goes to the Gujarat High Court saying that now new evidence have surfaced, CDs have surfaced, pen drives have surfaced, and so there is sufficient ground to carry forward the case. Suddenly the case is open.
Okay, so you believe this is fixed? This is fixed, you are saying.
No,
something wrong with the judge there, the court there.
If there is a logic applied, I am not saying anything that I am feeling. I am simply telling you how the facts have come up to me.
Okay, let's get a legal counter to that, Sanju Verma. Quick point from Ishtaran, then I am coming to you.
In February
2020, 30 seconds.
That suddenly new evidences came to surface.
30 seconds only, because the viewers of Times now should know the truth. If all that is being said was obviously argued before the trial court, they came to a conclusion, but I'm not going into that. If the summons were issued, they had the opportunity of challenging it in sessions, in High Court, in Supreme Court. They could have gotten a stay on the trial anytime they wanted if their grounds were strong. That fact that was not done also shows that the trial was proceeding perfectly in accordance with law.
Sir, I believe you are a
Now,
lawyer yourself, at least.
okay, let's now get a response from the BJP. Sanju
Don't
Verma,
have a
respond
concept of getting
to
a
what
stay.
the Congress has
Don't have a
said.
concept of getting a
Fixed
stay.
match, judges being changed, Tanashahi, dictatorship, all that.
You know, Pranesh, first of all, through your show, I would like to congratulate Rahul Gandhi. Congratulations, Rahul Gandhi. You are the first leader, mainstream leader of a supposedly mainstream opposition party who has the distinction of not only being an accused in the National Herald scam and out on bail, but now you are also a convict and out on bail. You know, this is the first time that a political leader is an accused and out on bail and is also a convict and out on bail in this criminal defamation case. And I will just add to what Ishkaran said. This statement that all Modis are thieves was made by Rahul Gandhi on the 6th of July 2019. And apart from the BJP MLA Purnesh Modi,
Madam, it's April
then
2019. At least get your facts correct.
Pranesh,
There you
I
go.
did not interrupt him. I did not heckle this man. What is this debate? Why
No, no.
can't this man be quiet?
Give him his
Did
share
I
of
heckle you,
happiness,
Lokesh?
please.
Please get your facts
Did I
correct.
heckle
Give him
you,
his share
Lokesh?
of
Please shut
happiness.
up.
He is only on the, he is not countering you on the argument. He says correct the date. Baki, what you are saying,
Let
he
me
is
please
okay
finish.
with it.
Yes, I don't need to get lectures from Lokesh because I know that, you know, his word is very, very blinded by his so-called ideological
Madam, I'm just
prowess of the
correcting
language.
Okay,
you.
not
made a mistake.
Okay,
I don't
one
need
after
your
another, please.
corrections.
Lokesh,
Sit down.
Lokesh,
Sit down.
let her speak.
Thank
I'll
you.
come back to you for a response.
Yes. So, in July 2019, you know, there was a case filed by the then Deputy Chief Minister of Bihar, Mr. Sushil Modi, in the Patna High Court. Pranesh, if you recall. And the Patna High Court actually gave Rahul Gandhi the benefit of doubt and gave him a bail for the same statement for which today the Surat District Court has actually sentenced him to 2 years imprisonment, though his bail you know, is going to be sort of suspended for 30 more days till the time he appeals. The point I'm making is when Patna High Court gave Rahul Gandhi a bail saying all Modis are thieves is a statement which Rahul Gandhi may have said due to oversight, then the entire Congress top brass said, thank you Patna High Court, you gave the right judgment.
Right.
Today when the Surat District Court for the same statement that all Modis are thieves said 2 years imprisonment, and mind you, Ishkaran will corroborate this, besides the 2 years imprisonment, he stands to be disqualified for 6 years from the date of the judgment. Which I think
Sanjay
is
Jha
the
is smiling.
bigger issue.
Sanjay Jha is smiling. I don't know
And let
because
me
of the
finish in
disqualification
20
bit.
seconds. Let me finish in 20 seconds,
Okay.
Pranesh. In 20 seconds. And I just want to remind you one thing. Have you looked at Rahul Gandhi's history? I remember that in March 2014, he came to Maharashtra. And what did he say? He said, RSS people, and I'm quoting him ad verbatim, RSS people killed Gandhiji and today their people, in brackets, referring to BJP, talk of him. This was a statement made by Rahul Gandhi in March 2014. In September 2016, he had to apologize, and the Supreme Court also chided him, saying that it is unfair to
Right.
make a collective
And this
comment
court order is
about
also scathing.
RSS.
Now, Sanjay Jha, why should Rahul Gandhi not be disqualified?
Pranesh, good evening. I heard Rahul's speech in detail today a couple of times. And all he was doing during his election campaign was talking about political corruption under the government of Narendra Modi. What did he really mention? He talked about two people who have, by the way, hogged a lot of media time. One is Nirav Modi, who swindled India's banks and then was immediately found doing a photo op with Narendra Modi in Davos. The other, of course, is Lalit Modi.
Let him have his say. Sanju Verma, let him have his say. Let him have his say, please. Let him have his say. Yes, Sanjay Jha, make your point. Yes.
This man always...
No, Sanju Verma, I'll come back to you for a response. Let's not do this, please.
This suspended...
No, let's not get personal. Sanju Verma, please. Sanjay Jha is suspended. Rahul Gandhi will tomorrow be disqualified. Let's not get into all of that. Yes, Mr. Jha, make your point.
Pranesh, I've really enjoyed being on your programs. I just want to make it very clear that no one in your program has the right to try and interrupt and intervene others especially when
I
they
will not
want.
allow you to
No, 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 no.
It's defamatory
Sanju Verma, please.
statements against
Sanju
the
Verma,
Prime
let him have his
Minister.
space.
Get that loud
Let's
and
not
clear.
heckle
Get
each
that
other,
loud
please.
and clear.
No, he didn't interrupt you when you were making your point, Sanju Verma, please.
24/7.
Let's not, Sanju Verma, please. Let's be responsible here. Sanjay Jha, make your point.
You
Yes.
asked him to be responsible.
I've told
He's
him
not
also.
what I
Let him
say.
make his point.
Prime
Whatever you have to
Minister
say, I'll come back to you.
with
Sanju
Nirav
Verma,
Modi.
please.
Did you ask
Ma'am,
him not
please.
to make defamatory statements against the Prime Minister? You did not, Pranesh.
Let him make his point. I can't keep cutting him short.
You can restrain
Let
him
him now,
like
ma'am,
you restrain
please,
the
let him
BJP.
make his point.
Fader is never brought down. Why?
Now, Ravi
Pranesh.
Srivastava, अब आपको भी अभी बोलना है, बोलने दीजिए ना उनको सर, प्लीज.
Why only the other people's fader?
आपका भी तो fader up है. People can hear you.
Not the BJP spokesperson. Why?
Sir, are you also
Why
from
are
the
you
BJP?
discriminating?
Your fader is also up. People can hear what you are saying.
My fader is down invariably. I
No,
don't
it is
bother
not.
about
It is
it.
not.
I say,
No.
I say when the BJP
Fader का पता नहीं
spokesperson
feeder
comes
down
in,
होगा,
you
fader
never
up है
bring your
आपका.
fader down.
नहीं.
You never bring your fader
नहीं.
down. Why?
Sanjay Jha, make your point. Let's not.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So Pranesh, let me tell you once again, and you should try and play that video at some point in your program. Rahul Gandhi makes, I think, a very, very witty remark. He actually goes ahead and says that it's a crazy coincidence that Lalit Modi, Narendra Modi, and of course he hasn't mentioned Mehul Bhai, whom we know who's very close to, and Narendra Modi, they seem to be a common, surname factor. At no point has he been disparaging about the Modi surname at all. I don't think he's tried to malign
Now,
any
okay, now,
community.
Mr.
I
Jha,
think
now that
at
I've
the
heard
end of
you,
the day,
let me read out the court order. You are saying that the comment was witty. Here's the operative bit of the court order, and listen to this
I'm
carefully.
talking about the speech that I have heard.
No, I understand. I understand. Of course, the
speech.
speech is at the center of this
I
all.
have read the court order. Let me make a point here, Pranesh.
Okay.
Just hear me out. Because this matter will go to the higher courts. And I've spoken to some of my friends in the Congress party, who, by the way, are some of the country's eminent lawyers, who are convinced that this will not survive a judicial scrutiny at the highest level of the court. Now, let
That's
me make
their
a
view.
clear-
Let's see. We
my
can't
last
second
point.
guess what happens. Later, you've heard
My
what
last-
Dr. Swamy said, that even in the National Herald case, they were hopeful of getting a favorable order. That didn't happen. So, let's see when we will talk about it when we get there. Here's what the court has said.
My last point. My last
Now, let me make a point. Sanjay Jha, let me make a point, please. Here's what the court said. Because you use the word witty, I'm reading this. The court has said that the accused in his speech designated Narendra Modi as a thief and compared him to the financial criminals who have hurt the Indian government, like Nirav Modi, Lalit Modi, Choksi, Vijay Mallya, where he could have stopped. He could have also limited the speech to these people, but to intentionally insult all people with the surname Modi or those identified with the Modi name, he specifically stated, "Why are all thieves nicknamed Modi?" Now, if this is witty to you, the court doesn't agree with what you say.
Well, let me tell you, Pranesh, I'm not going to make this into a legal case because the lawyers will argue it out. Has he said anywhere that all thieves are Modis? He hasn't said that. He hasn't said that.
Why are all thieves nicknamed Modi?
He said
Why are all thieves nicknamed Modi is
What
what...
the hell does that mean? What the
Anyway,
hell
let
does
me
that
make
mean?
a large-
Isn't it the same thing? Sanjay
Sanjay
Jha.
Jha is indulging in classic
can I make
whataboutery.
a
Okay,
point,
make your...
please?
Okay.
Sanjay
Yes.
Jha is
My
indulging in
last
classic whataboutery.
The BJP is in panic, but let me tell the BJP and all its cheerleaders on the program, and even those who are probably watching at
You are a
home.
suspended leader.
No. We don't have cheerleaders here. We have spokespersons. No, Mr.
You are
Jha,
a
please.
suspended leader.
Let's be civil with each other, please, Mr. Jha. We don't have cheerleaders here, please. We have
Who
spokespersons
the hell are you,
here.
Sanjay Jha? You're not even an official spokesperson.
Now, Sanju
of your
Verma.
party. Your
Okay.
party has discarded you.
Pranesh,
Now,
please
Lokesh Jindal,
moderate.
1 minute. Lokesh Jindal, 1 minute, please. Let's not do this to the viewer. Spare a thought for the viewer at least, please. Let's not make this personal, please.
Yeah. Pranesh, my simple point, the Gautam Adani issue is not going to go away anywhere. That is the
But how
central
this
plank
related
of
to
the
Gautam
opposition.
Adani? Sanjay Jha, for God's sake, what's Gautam Adani case got to do with this? Karan Verma, Rahul Gandhi convicted in defamation case. Sanjay Jha is saying Gautam Adani, Mehul Choksi.
Well, I'm making a simple point.
Pranesh,
Now let
Now, can
Karan
I
Verma
make
come in.
a
I'll
point?
come back to you, Sanju
Yeah,
Verma.
please.
I'll come back to you. Let
Please.
Karan come in.
Sanjay Jha generally tries to come up with arguments. Today he's lost it completely in the sense
He is deliberately obliterating the last statement made by Rahul Gandhi. He clearly said, ऐसा क्यों होता है कि हर चोर का सरनेम मोदी हो? In as many words he said it. I mean, it is the indefensible Sanjay. For once concede that he made a careless, illogical, irrational statement. A conditional, an unconditional apology can perhaps help. If you try to brazen it out in a debate, it won't help you. It won't help Rahul Gandhi also, which is why he's convicted. If only he had owned up and said that maybe it's a genuine mistake, probably he would have not seen this day. But Pranesh, the larger point is that Rahul Gandhi has this habit of landing with a foot in his mouth. He did that with Chaukidar Chor Hai, where he had to issue an unconditional apology. He did that with RSS, where he made a complete U-turn in the Supreme Court and said, no, I did not mean that the RSS was involved in the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi. Do I think that defamation should be criminal? I don't think. But then, who is the Prime Minister who brought about the anti-defamation law, Pranesh? It was Rajiv Gandhi in 1988. Can you imagine that? Who was the Prime Minister who, today we see Congress people talk about free speech and expression. Who was the first Prime Minister who brought about a curb on freedom of speech? It was Jawaharlal Nehru who brought the First Amendment. So Congress talking about free speech, Congress talking against defamation is blind hypocrisy. They are exposed. They have used these laws against which they are crying wolf today. I don't think defamation should be criminal, but unfortunately that is how we are.
But that Ishtaran said, till we have those laws, there's no escape from it. Now, Ravi Srivastava...
One second, just one finish. Okay. Congress had enough time to remove these laws, but what did they do in their First Amendment? I keep hammering the history. They brought the First Amendment to restrict speeches, otherwise the courts would have struck it down.
Now, Ravi Srivastava... Now, Sanju Verma, if I don't bring in Ravi Srivastava, he has the charge sheet ready. He'll read the Riot Act. Now, Mr. Srivastava, good evening. Your fader is up. We can all see you, sir, wearing this light green kurta that you're wearing, looking smart. Now, you've heard the contentions of both sides. The Aam Aadmi Party has today come out in defense of Rahul Gandhi. How is this Tanashah is all that I want to know.
Now, charge 1 has already been debated. Now I come with the charge number 2. The charge number 2 is that BJP spokesperson say that the freedom of speech is there, and that is why you are sitting here. As if I am obliged, they are obliged to put me over here and I can talk what I want to say. So this is kind of a threatening from the BJP and their supporters. Anyway, I am least bothered about it.
No one can threaten you, sir. Not on this show.
I will continue to speak my mind and nobody can stop.
Please do. Nobody can stop you. Nobody will put down your fader. Make your point.
I hear this every third day that we are here, you are talking. No, this is how you can say that the democracy is in peril and all that. Now, my point here is that whatever Rahul Gandhi has said, hundreds of the people, hundreds of the politicians have done it, and they have used much more demeaning language against their rivals in the political discourse. It has not happened the very first time that Rahul Gandhi has said something. Anyway, and he is not going to run away. He is going to face it. What friend said, Congress did it. Congress did it. Congress did it. That's why they were ousted. This why you want to also get ousted because
आप समझे नहीं वो क्या बोलते हैं? Congress did it. Ishtaran was only talking about Ishtaran was only talking about
Jawaharlal Nehru,
Ishtaran. But the fact is, sir, First Amendment. That's a fact. But that's a fact, Ravi Srivastava.
Now you are there for last 9 years.
Mr. Srivastava, that's a fact.
If they had done something wrong,
This is.
Mr. Srivastava, that's a fact.
You could have corrected it.
This is fact.
Why did you do it? Everything you are referring to, Congress did it, so we are.
But how does that argument help you?
May I come in, Pranesh?
No, let Ishtaran respond to what Ravi Srivastava said. Ishtaran.
One second. Let me be very clear. I started by saying, you, me, whether we like a law, whether we believe it's a good law or not, doesn't matter. The law has to be followed. And how did this law survive? Because immediately after independence, people started criticizing the first government of India, Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru. And the first thing he did is he restricted the right of people from the right to the left. Both the left and the right were criticizing. He restricted the right by bringing the First Amendment. And of course, BJP is very happy to use the law. I have always believed all political parties will enjoy all laws which resist the citizen speech. And now Congress, which had the chance to do it, is facing the music. And tomorrow, if BJP allows this law to remain in place, maybe they will raise the music.
Now, because you took Nehru's name, Lokesh Jindal wants to respond to what you said. Yes, Mr. Jindal, quickly.
Yes, Pranesh, there's a saying, history makes laws, laws make history. When individuals, they study law without studying the historical context of it, they come out and make a fool out of themselves. There's a saying, little knowledge is a dangerous thing. Sir, at least understand the political, social and economic context within which these laws were formulated. Get to understand what was the post-colonial era, what were the challenges we were
what is the
facing within
political,
and
social,
outside.
economic context of emergency, if I may ask?
No.
क्या बोल रहे हैं, Mr.
Wait a minute.
Jindal?
See, this particular platform does not have enough time so that I can put all the facts in perspective and get a clear picture of
your argument can
now,
have
these
enough
people,
sense and logic.
with the
So
shallowness
it's not
of the
about time.
information that they have,
Your
they are
argument,
able
Mr.
to win
Jindal,
the
can have
argument
enough
with the rhetoric
sense and logic.
as well as your
What
support
is
which
this
they get.
political, social, economic argument?
No, Pranesh, wait.
Are you going to defend emergency then?
Discussion. The whole point is, Pranesh,
We are digressing. Let's come back to what we were discussing.
No.
I need to continue.
Pranesh, let's have a fair argument over this at some point. But don't give the benefit of doubt to these ignorants and let them,
No, make your point. Quickly make your point. Then I'll have to come back to the main topic that we were on. Go ahead, Mr. Jindal. You have 30 seconds. Boliye.
So that's what I'm saying, when Ishkaran says the First Amendment Act as well as the restrictions imposed on freedom of speech and expression, then he has to understand what were the challenges we were facing post-partition. It was not so as to save Congress and its legacy for your time information in the first general election.
That had nothing to do with the challenges we were facing. Please, Mr. Jindal, please.
When there was no
I'm sure you know it yourself, but you have to say it because, you have to defend your party.
And since then, the tradition has been that the deputy speaker will be from the opposition party. But since 2019, has the BJP appointed a deputy speaker? No. All constitutional provisions, whether it is Article 93, all constitutional provisions.
Mr. Jindal, calm down first of all. Mr. Jindal, you've got it completely wrong. You messed it up. I'm sorry to say you're usually, reasonable on the point. Aaj kuch ho gaya. Now, Ishtaran, I'll come back to you. Sanju Verma wanted to...
10 seconds.
Okay. Ishtaran, okay.
Pranesh, what is this? I've been waiting for my turn. There have been so many allegations against the BJP. I need to step in, please.
1 year in jail. That was not protecting Nehru. What are they talking about?
Yeah, but that's a fact. Now, Mr. Jindal, now you can't deny what is a fact. Sanju Verma, make your point.
Okay. I want to say one thing which has been lost in the noise, in the din of the entire debate, Pranesh, and you must be aware of this fact. This has been there on social media and it is a verifiable fact. Congress leaders including Jairam Ramesh and the likes of Kapil Sibal have been saying that this disqualification of 6 years, which will be the case if it holds true, and the 2-year imprisonment will not stand testimony on any reasonable grounds in a court of law. So let me remind them, please go back and read the 2013 Lily Thomas judgment. In the Lily Thomas judgment, the Supreme Court actually quoted clause 8.4 of the Representation of Peoples Act 1951, clause 8.3 and clause 8.4, which quoting these clauses, the Supreme Court said we do not go by any past precedents. If a person has been convicted with a sentence of 2 years, then whether he is a member of parliament, an MLA or MLC, he stands to be disqualified. And just 4 weeks back, Azam Khan's son Abdullah Azam was disqualified by a special court in Moradabad as the MLA in the UP Assembly. So there is a second precedent, one of the Lily Thomas judgment of 2013 and one the Abdullah Azam judgment of 2023.
Which is why I asked Sanjay Jha, why should Rahul Gandhi not be disqualified? The law is clear on that. Ishtaran also referred to that. Now, okay.
I'll just finish in 10 seconds.
Yes.
Just 10 seconds. Sanjay Jha and and I have seen on umpteen debates, I never digress. But if every time there is some topic and Nirav Modi is brought in, I need to tell your audience that who was the lawyer of Nirav Modi in the UK Westminster Magistrates Court? Sanjay Jha. It was your Congress leader Abhay Thipse, who was the Bombay High Court judge and then joined the Congress and was defending Nirav Modi in London.
Sanjay Jha is responding to you. Sanjay Jha, quickly, we are running out of time. Yes.
Nirav Modi being defended
Now let him respond
by a Congress lawyer.
Okay, Sanju Verma, point taken. Sanjay Jha, quick
Who
response.
is Abhay Thipse? Can you please
10 seconds.
enlighten the audience?
So Pranesh, my short answer to you, I have had very long conversations with people, and they have said exactly what I said on your program earlier, that there is no substantive basis where this will survive a more sophisticated scrutiny, number one. Number two, because look at the context. He's actually mentioned names, and it is because of the names that he mentioned that it is very clear that it is specific to the people that he's talked about. Nirav Modi and Lalit Modi, and we all know about their proximity to Mr. Narendra Modi. So let me tell you that when you remain silent, please can you...
No, let him respond to it. Sanju Verma, he didn't interrupt when you were making a point. Now, let him at least answer, Sanju Verma, please. Let him answer. You asked him a question.
But he's making the same reckless allegations that Rahul Gandhi ne to aisa kuch bola hi nahi.
But the viewers...
Rahul Gandhi clearly said sab Modi chor hai.
Sanjay Verma, you know, Sanjay Jha can be in denial. I read out what the court has said. It's there for him to go and see.
So let me tell you, Pranesh, basically the point that I'm making, and I think everybody in the Congress is convinced about it. Yes, we respect the judiciary. We don't have to necessarily buy into every verdict. And in this case, the Congress
Mr. Jha, 1 minute. No, 1 minute. That's okay. You don't have to buy into every, but you still have to follow the verdict. I mean, you can't say things like, we know this was coming because judges were changed. And then you say, you know, democracy is under attack.
Well, let me give you just one example where democracy is concerned, Pranesh. You and I
defending Nirav Modi in London,
and we debate
and you're
on your
sitting here
program.
and giving a bhashan to the BJP.
Now, is it fair, Karan Verma, is it fair to first say mics were muted, not allowed to speak in parliament when the chair calls for a meeting, then people don't go and attend. Now, when the court order comes, you say that, look, this is a fixed match.
You know, Pranesh, that's why they're losing all the credibility they ever had. I mean, casting aspersions on institutions after institutions. But I need 10 seconds because I don't want your viewers to not know this. It should not go untested what Lokesh said. The first amendment was brought in by Nehru after Nehru lost a legal battle to the Organizer magazine. He lost and he was given a scathing indictment in the court by Justice Chagla, which is why when he could not stomach this loss, he brought in the First Amendment. So Nehru started this whole landing with a foot in his mouth. And today his great grandson, Rahul Gandhi, continues with it. So he should know this. And your viewers should know this. And he cannot contest this because I'm talking only facts here. And as far as institutions are concerned,
reply to you.
Pranesh, it is very important we maintain the sanctity of our institutions. Time and again casting aspersions on EC or CBI or ED or our judiciary by saying judges were being changed and we knew this was coming. This is again defamatory to our country. This is again a strong affront to our very fabric. It's time Rahul Gandhi actually matured, but then that is expecting too much from him.
Well, the shoot and scoot has been called out. You know, let's see when the disqualification happens, how the Congress responds to that when they go up in appeal and what the higher courts decide. But because you were talking about casting aspersion on institutions, let's shift our attention. I thank all of you for joining us. Some of you stay